Katie Martin here, and I'm with Roy West at AmeriPro Funding.
Good morning.
Good morning. I wanted to talk with Roy a little bit about some of the changes that are happening in our industry pretty soon. So this is going to be a little bit longer video than y'all are used to, but I wanted to help educate you on what's happening in our world. So tell everybody a little bit about what's happening with, it's called CFPB, and the changes in disclosures and all that stuff.
Well, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau began in 2011, and it's kind of like a mega agency like the like Homeland Security, but it was for consumer protection. So it's over HUD, it's over FDIC, a lot of the regular anything dealing with finances and consumers on a federal level. And as a result of that, they've been looking at ways to provide additional protection to the consumer. And one of the things they came up with is a change that is the biggest change in the mortgage industry in 30 years. And it's a new form and a new way to disclose, and it's called the Truth in Lending RESPA Integrated Disclosure. And this form, it's a lot more helpful to customers. And one of the things that the whole rollout has to do with is that the information at the beginning of the loan application, whenever you make a loan application, the information needs to be right. And you will end up with, it's going to be required that you have a HUD 3 days before closing that is accurate and is going to be the HUD that you close with. Whereas today, oftentimes people don't see the HUD until right before the closing, which is very standard. Now it's going to be required 3 days. People will not be able to waive that. And for the mortgage business, mortgage industry, one reason they've done this is because there's very little of the fees that are actually our fees. Most of them are third-party fees. And in the past, when we underestimated them, which sometimes on internet lenders and such that weren't worried about referrals, they would underestimate fees of other people, and then all of a sudden closing costs are significantly more than people were anticipating. Well, that can't be done in our industry anymore, which I think is a very good thing. I think it's very positive for the consumer. So what's going to happen is everybody's going to have their game on better. And it's not that we're going to have to do anything that we're not currently doing. We're just going to have to do it sooner. So you're going to need to get your insurance quote right off the bat. We're going to need all the HOA information from the realtors right off the bat. And in terms of surveys and in terms of everything, whether there's home warranties are going to have to be ordered a lot earlier. Right. All those kind of things. And that it's going to be very helpful for the consumer because you're going to have a clearer picture and things are presented in a much clearer way. A lot of the changes that have occurred in the last several years, I don't believe really made it clearer for the consumer, whereas this clearly does.
Right. So things will be changing on their end, which will affect us on our end.
Right.
And so our buyers and sellers need to kind of be aware of this because it's going to delay closing. So we're looking, instead of a 40-day closing, we may be a week more out. So whenever we start talking to you about these things, and not only do we have appraisals that are running longer, this is going to yet add another week. So just expect a 60-day close.
Well, and I will say, what's the big difference is if you're a well-prepared buyer, and I couldn't be more serious about this, getting documents. Documents are the key to a mortgage loan. And even though you may be well qualified, if we get your documents slow, the process is slower. If you get all your documents to a lender before you even find a home, it's going to expedite the process so much, because right now collecting documents can take us as much as 3 weeks, which can delay the closing, and it's going to have a much bigger impact with the new changes. So we're going to be encouraging people it's now more important than ever to get your documents to the lenders as soon as possible and really begin the process before you find a home, because it's going to make that process a whole lot better, and you're going to have a lot better information from the beginning.
Right. And Roy and all of his team here are very good at staying in constant contact with people. There's some lenders that it's a little harder to get in touch with, so you as the consumer have to be on your game as well to be the follow-up person and start working on that also. We don't mind hounding people, but it's even easier if you can do it on your end as well.
That's right, and also working with realtors that are professional, and when they're able to prepare with that, in terms of getting all the necessary information up front, that's going to expedite things. So we're really hoping, and right now, I believe at first there will be a little bit of a hiccup, just everybody learning the new ways. But I am hoping that by the spring we will be back at 30 days, 35-day closings, and that we will be able to run on time. But it's going to require you as the buyer to get your business in order at first, because you're going to have to, it's nothing new that you currently don't have to do, but if you do it quicker, it's going to expedite the closing a lot quicker.
So just a quick recap, it's going to be, you'll have a 3-day time frame after the settlement statement is prepared, and they're changing the name of the settlement statement to
the Truth in Lending and integrated, the Truth in Lending RESPA integrated disclosure.
Yes, so that is our new term. We're going to have to learn it too. So you'll have a 3-day time frame after you get that form that you'll be able to review everything. It will affect, I would think, more for if somebody is mailing out. So they have to have, you have to have proof that they've received that document, signed off on it.
Right.
Then the 3 days start. So just kind of keep that in mind when we're talking about closing dates and all that stuff. That this is going to become our new normal. So we're excited
about it, and it's good for you. So it's nothing to be concerned about. And remember that the Katie Martin team does a great job of helping you buy or sell a house.
That's right. Thank you, Roy. And just remember, if it matters to you, it matters to Katie.